These swabhav or swadha or samskar that we bring with us, these footprints that stamps with us. It also, we call it in English terminology, habit, right? Or habit, right? Can we improve upon our habits? How can we do that? How can we improve upon our habit? By developing daily routines, right? What did I ask you all to do for me every week? Huh? Shanti Gita. Why did I ask you to do that? I just want to find something for you to do. So you could develop a routine. So whatever swadharma you brought with you, we can try to develop a routine so it becomes a what? A habit. A different type of habit, right? What kind of habit we want to develop?
Good habit.
Good habit. Right? So when he went to Dronacharya, he went because he wanted to get a little bit of coaxing. He wanted Dronacharya to give him the encouragement to face what? The righteousness. So he's bringing up when he saw the righteous army, what is he doing? He's bringing out his other army to what? To reinforce. When you're in meditation, what happens? As you begin to meditate, what happens? Little thoughts come in, right? Little thoughts come in to try and change it. For example, you know how many humans, how they live? Think about it. Most of us here, what do? We get up in the morning, right? We take a bath, we eat breakfast, right? We get in our car or catch the bus or whatever, we go to work. We work the full 8 hours. When we get off, what we do? We probably stop at the bar, maybe have a drink, right? Or go to a party, or go hang out by a friend's house for a little bit, come home, sit down in front of the television, watch a couple television show, eat dinner, right? Go to sleep, right? And what do we do tomorrow? The same thing, right? But this is what the king of material desires wants us to do every day. Because as we do that and we develop this habit and we reinforce it constantly and we develop, what happens? We get caught up in that and what do we forget? The
Righteousness.
true, because guess what? When we get to the lustful life, this life of material desire, lust, right? What happened? It's a temporary enjoyment, isn't it? It's short-lived. And when it's gone, we want some more. We want to go back some more. And we feel this is the way to feed. This is the way to feed it constantly by going more. When we buy one car, one nice car, and we see our neighbor has a nicer car, what happened? I got to get a better one than that. Right? So it creates what we call, and in this society, they call competition. And they say it's good for life, right? Competition is good. Because it drives what? The king of, it drives who? Duryodhana, right? The king of material desire. Let me go get some more. Let me go. And afterwards, arthritis sets in and diabetes and problems and one thing after the other. Next thing you know, what happened? Did you fulfill the purpose of this body? No. He's still there, right? You might even put some different swadharma when you come back next time, right? Come back with what? Even worse, right? So we're given the human body to do what? To change our habit, to develop a routine. And when you develop that routine and you start to meditate, guess what happens? A different set army comes to life. You know which army that is? Which army did Duryodhana see? He saw the righteous army, the Pandavas, right? A different set of armies start to rise up in the battlefield. And when that happens, a battle begins. A battle begins within the army. Well, what most of us do when they start to meditate, they come to me and say, Pandit, I'm having such a tough time. that every time I sit down to meditate, all kind of thoughts are coming to my head. All kind of bad thoughts, all kind of things and wickedness and things. You know? I can't get through to me. I can't concentrate. So you know what I tell him? I says, you know what? When you first learn to ride a bicycle, how many times you fall down? Did you quit? When I was teaching my son to ride the bicycle, guess what I used to do? I used to hold it back and like pedal and run behind him. Right? And after a while, when he started to go, I let go for a little bit, and he ride, fall down again, right? I go and get him up again, right? And then he starts to ride again, right? Until finally, someday in the future, guess what? When you let go, he just kept going, right? And he turned around and he come back and he rode perfectly well, right? Well, meditation is the same way. When you start to meditate at first, the minute you do that, the minute you go into meditation, guess what happens? It alerts the doorman of the material desire kingdom. Jojoran wakes up. He doesn't like that at all. And when he wakes up, the first thing he does, he calls up his battle army. Look, let's go get him. Send those negative thoughts in there. Confuse him so he wouldn't do that. And when he does that, what happens? He's going to turn around and he's going to keep doing the material thing and fight with his neighbor. You know, to get the nicer car, the bigger house, the fancier, the prettier wife, the nicer children, the more, all these things is material things that means nothing. It's a temporary happiness. But you see when that army comes up and you overcome these little ones and finally you reach and the Pandavas come forth and you see the true power of the army, what happens? And they're defeated. After a while, those evil thoughts go away and you're able to sit and go into what's called samadhi. And that happiness, devotees, that happiness is unconquerable. That happiness cannot be compared with nothing. No fancy house, no fancy car, no nothing. Why do you think all these sadhus who lives away from people, when they come down, when you see them in India, they're all over half naked. They don't care about nothing, but they are in such peace and happiness. Why do you think? Because they have realized what true happiness means. They have realized what it really means to be truly happy. And this is what this verse is telling us. That desire is the supreme ruler of everything. And as long as we follow those things, we will become victim of drona, material desires. But we must turn away from the outer sensory sensation. And don't be blind by this, so to speak, really tasteless world. And once we turn our attentions inward through meditation, what happens? We will get the true meaning of happiness, the true purpose of being a human being. The Gita does not teach us that it's a sin to use the senses with discrimination and self-control. Of course. The key word there is with discrimination and self-control. You have to eat, right? You have to sleep to maintain this body that carries this kingdom. You have to maintain the kingdom, right? But you have to, while maintaining the kingdom, do it with self-control, contentment and in moderation, as Mahiji says. And when you do that, slowly develop the spirituality. When you get up in the morning, how difficult is it to wash your face, take a bath, and right before you go and eat the breakfast, 10 minutes, go in front of the murtis, sit down, Close your eyes for 10 minutes and just chant the name of the Lord. Meditate upon it. When we chant in the mandir, doesn't it create a different vibration? Don't you feel a little different? How hard is it for you to do that 5, 10 minutes? Think of how better your day will become. And as you do your work, contemplate upon Krishna, upon God. As you're doing your work, think about God. You know, whatever work you do, if you can think about God, chant the name of the Lord. What are you doing by doing that? You're awakening the army of the righteous. Right? You're trying to get them to awaken and conquer the army of the unrighteous within you. And as you do that, slowly and slowly you'll find yourself not being able to do without these things. And that's going to bring supreme joy and happiness to you. Let's go to verse 3. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Krishnaya Govindaya Bhyo Namam. Pasyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Dropada Putrena Tavasishena Dhimata. Tavasishena Dhimata. Okay, somebody wants to read their transliteration?